Welcome back, friends. Hotter than blazes out, but I got some new sunnies, and I'm feeling pretty good about that. I want to talk to you today about friction shifting. Now, Chris, isn't that the shifting that old people use? Yes. Yes, it is. When I first started riding, index shifting had just kind of started to make its way into, production bikes. And quite honestly, it didn't work all that well initially. Anybody remember Campy Synchro? Horrible. So we all rode friction shifters. And, Suntour made a great one, ratcheting shifter. Campy had a retro friction shifter. And then indexing got a lot better, and it became kind of the norm. So why on earth would you want to use friction shifting? Well, let's say you've started to kind of work on your own bike. You've gotten to the point where, you know how a derailleur works. You can run a cable. You know what those limit screws do, and more importantly, don't do. Or you've got an older bike with good components, and you want to transfer that over to another frame that maybe has more tire clearance. You've got some older components, but you want a wider range of gears. These are all great reasons for friction shifting. Because, boys and girls, a friction shifter doesn't care what kind of derailleur you're using. A Shimano shifter with an old Suntour derailleur. A Shimano shifter with a SRAM derailleur. A microshift shifter, if you must, with any and all of the above, as long as it's a dedicated friction shifter, like this old silver shifter from Rivendell, and they have a new one that's very good as well, or a Shimano bar end shifter, like this. The Shimano bar end shifter is, to me, kind of the benchmark. The thing that's frustrating is that the tooling has had to have been paid for 1 million years, and, I think they're a little on the pricey side. Not compared to a dual control lever, but still. And the reason that I prefer these shifters and that a dual control lever is not my first choice for the type of bikes that I'm usually talking about is those dual control levers don't have a friction option. So you can run this in indexing, but should something go wrong somewhere out in the hinterlands, you can move this into friction, and now, you may have 4 or 5 gears as opposed to one that works well. And that could be the difference between getting to the next town where there's a bike shop a little more comfortable versus potentially miserable. So, this is a 9-speed Shimano bar end shifter. And I was trying to do an 11-speed kind of wider range. I think like an 1142, 11-speed cassette. And I'd get up to about here, and it wouldn't go any further. So what do you do then? Well, what I did, and for obvious reasons, I'm not suggesting that you do this, but you're all adults, you can do what you want. I took the shifter off the pod, put the pod on the grinder, and now it goes to 11. So The other thing you can do is you can take these shifters off the pods and you can mount them on something like this, which is a Paul Thummy, and it basically turns your bar end shifter into a thumb shifter. I'm sure you've all seen these. But the nice thing you can do on kind of a multi-position swept-back bar, if you're running them friction, you can run them kind of rib style, which means upside down and backwards. So you're taking the left shifter, putting it upside down on the right, so that the shifter actually, and this is backwards because it's a right shifter, but I'll show you a picture of what I'm talking about. So that the shifter is actually underneath the bar, so that when you move forward of the grips, you can kind of get around the brake levers, but you don't have that shifter right in the palm of your hand. I like it a lot. So what about the accuracy of friction with, 10, 11 gears? And that was something that I was concerned about as well. But it appears to me, and in my experience, that when you go to a wide range cassette, there is enough difference between those cogs that the shifting is good. I haven't had an issue with it. Does it take a little getting used to? Of course. It's going to take a while for your finger and thumb to kind of get calibrated as to how far you have to move that lever. But at the end of the day, it gives you a lot more flexibility to kind of make that bike something other than just an off-the-shelf bike. When I rebuilt that cycle truck, I had an old LX rear derailleur on that bike, and it was 8-speed, and I wanted a little more range. Well, that LX derailleur isn't going to throw a 42 tooth big cog in the back, so I've got a couple of choices. I can put a road link from Wolf Tooth on it to extend the range, which I've done before and it works. Or I could put that shifter in friction and take the old SRAM GX derailleur that came off my bridge club, and now 1142 with a friction shifter, and it works great. So is this for everybody? No, nothing is for everybody, but it's an option, and it's an option that I don't think should be overlooked just because it's old. Just because I'm a Luddite doesn't mean I'm wrong. So that's it. Do you use friction shifting? Have you tried friction shifting? Are you scared of friction shifting? Don't be scared. Give it a try. You might like it. And if you don't, you can go back to indexing. Easy peasy. That's it. Thanks for watching. As always, I really appreciate it. It does kind of blow me away, the number of people that watch these videos. And it's, it isn't on the level of a lot of channels, but it still kind of blows me away. Till next time, be nice, work hard, ride bikes, play music when you can. I'll talk to you soon.